Yo, what's up YouTube? Today, let's talk about LD units and the LD banner. I know I'm a little behind, I've been flat out the last couple weeks, so hope you guys enjoyed that clip of my god tier RNG. I know I did. This is pretty much how it goes, alright? You just, count to 15, say it out loud, there's your upgrades, alright? Anyways, I wanted to talk about the LD banner today and some combinations that have actually now, at this point, they've already been proven, but it's kind of nutty. So, first things first, should we be summoning on the LD banner in general? Yes, in my opinion, for sure. You can get pretty much every unit from it. You will only get LD keys, but honestly, like a lot of the LD units just kind of fit into like any comp or Starcast, and you just combine with another AoE unit. What combo we're going to talk about today is Pit Boss and Light Hex, which is absolutely disgusting. It was something like as soon as I saw Light Hex, I was like, I wonder how that would pair with Pit Boss. And now people that have put money into the game have gone ahead and proven it. So it's pretty wild. We're gonna go over their skills and stuff. But just summon on the LD banner if you're gonna summon on stuff. All right. Obviously you are gonna be picking up some premium summon tickets. So, use those on the regular premium summon. But the LD banner, if you are going to whale out and throw money in the game, probably better off going on the LD banner just so you can get those, the LD units aren't like that much more amazing overall, but they are good. And they, when you pair them with the regular units, you can just get some really ridiculous combinations happening. So, let's jump into Skylanders quickly and we'll go over them. Now, you may have noticed I have Stormblade now, which is great. I actually did, I did like a two summons on the LD banner actually, and that's my Stormblade popped up. So, you can get regular LDs from the LD, so he can get regular legendaries from the LD banner. Something to take note of. Now, let's go over the dark units first. I think there's less of them. Yeah, it's not that much different. Now, Blackout is in the arena shop. Blackout is a pretty decent unit, alright? He's a decent unit, but at the same time, he kind of fits into the diminished poison comps, and those have kind of been phased out at this point of, in time. Something you want to watch out for there, okay? Now, he does have beneficial effect immunity for the enemy. He's got diminished poison, of course. More poison. Okay. And then he can copy? Oh, yeah. Sorry, I thought it was detonate. I was about to say detonate, but yeah. There it is. Activates all continuous damage on all enemies for 2 turns by consuming 2 mana when turn ends. Right. Copies the target's continuous effect to grant. I really wish that the translation was a little better sometimes. That's why I read that one first. I was like, wait, copies? So wait, does he copy it and then detonate it? I don't know. Come to us, please fix your descriptions. But yeah, basically Blackout is a great unit to pair with, say, Boom Bloom. Both units, I think she can detonate it. Both units can basically copy, okay? So there you go. Excellent poison comp unit. Okay. Starcast. You could pair Starcast with, say, Stormblade. You could pair Starcast with Freezeblade and Stormblade. Just make this whole AoE comp. You have like Freezeblade, Stormblade, Starcast, and Pit Boss, right? That would be fun. They would be like, I don't know how to go on defense, but it'd be pretty good. Now, Starcast was kind of interesting. This always lands as a critical hit move. It is kind of it is instantaneous. The charge move actually hit a lot less than I thought it would, because I have versed a couple of really powerful Starcasts at this point, or maybe it was the same one a couple times. But he actually it wasn't as scary as I thought it would be. But Starcast with his AoE is just absolutely disgusting. Okay, definitely worth investing in Starcast if you get enough super boosts. All right. Now Nightmare here, this is someone I actually wanted for my own comp because let's see, remove buff effect. Yeah, so she has a single target strip. What was it that I wanted? Oh yeah, so she's got this AoE silence. So a lot of people are using Pit Boss now, right? So if you get your hands on a Nightmare, even if you just put it in your comp, like you know, unlock the silence, right? And just have her there so that you can prevent Pit Boss from using his charge attack. Because everyone's pretty much putting Pit Boss on their defense comp. They're using it on their attack, of course. But if you get your hands on Nightmare, just putting her in there for this like 2-turn cooldown, 2 mana used. Like no one's ever really gonna get the charge off. I feel like she might, like maybe the AI is good enough to use it, but like maybe the AI is also just stupid and won't use it. So I think it depends on who you pair her with, as long as you can force her to use that 2 mana, 2 cooldown time skill, which she probably will, honestly. She also reduces evasion rate, which might be helpful against, say, the air evasion comp. You know what I mean? And then, of course, if you have 9+ mana when the turn begins, increase the mana required to use skills of all enemies by 1 for 1 turn. Pretty nice, right? Like, it's just this, like, it's a passive ability. Like, Nightmare is this... Nightmare's a powerful unit. It's just a matter of, like, I think you'd need to be, like... You'd have to... It'd be, like, at turn 45. It'd be, like, 46 or 45 is when this would start to kick in. About the same time that Mysticat's skill starts to kick in, I think. But yeah, Nightmare would be an excellent... Like, if you can get your hands on some Nightmares, guys, like, you can put Nightmare in pretty much any comp. And it's going to be really powerful. So 1 mana skill, 2 mana skill, 2 mana skill. Not going to knock things down, you know. But, like, the diminish, not a big deal. But, like, she's got the strip. She's got the defense penetration up. The defense down. And the evasion rate down, and the silence. Plus, she gives the attack down, and the skill mana up. It's pretty nutty, honestly. Diminish effect on the enemy for 2 turns whenever you attack an enemy with 70% or higher HP. And then, like, it's... I don't really like the leader skill too much, because, like, as soon as you start attacking even once with most... Like, most of us that are using, well, you know, we're geared up and stuff. Most of us are, like, beyond this leader skill being useful past the first attack, right? Of course, you got Shadow Spyro. He's okay, right? He does, like, 1 enemy and the nearby enemy, so you can put bombs on, like, 3 units, if you like, with his first skill. The defense down, the attack down. He's got the knockdown. It's 2 mana, 2 cooldown, 4 endurance. Not bad. Not, like, knockdown-wise, not as good as Airstrike, but it's still pretty good, right? And then, still beneficial effects. What is this? With provoke effect. I actually thought this was like... I didn't think there was an extra condition here, actually. So it's with the provoke effect, excluding yourself, still has beneficial effects whenever you attack an enemy. So you need somebody on your comp to have the provoke effect up. If I'm reading this correctly. Which, even if I am, might not be completely accurate. Just because of the way some of the descriptions are worded incorrectly in general, you know. Of course, Shadow Spyro is just the 4-star, and then Nightfall is an absolute beast. All right, the diminish effect, the knockdown, like I don't really get the like. It's not random, so I'm pretty sure this is just a 1 endurance hit knockdown. I don't think that it hits 4 times for 4 endurance, like 1 endurance each, right? For a 4 endurance total knockdown. Sad but true, but the amount of diminish that happens, as well as like say this over diminish here. So if the target possesses the diminish effect, it grants the over diminish effect on the target. Doesn't really explain it for us, but I believe it detonates them. Yeah, so it activates all diminish effects of the target at once. All diminish effects will be removed. Right? So it's just this instant detonation once you put on, because like with the first skill, you can. When you attack, it attacks 4 times, and it's got a chance to put diminish on them for each of those 4 attacks, right? It doesn't do the same thing for the endurance though. And he also attacks, he's got something that makes him attack a second time, I'm pretty sure. So where'd he go? Defense penetration up. Interesting. He does... Oh. Yeah, he does do like an extra attack at some point. Like if someone dies, he can just go again. I could have sworn. Oh, let's move on to the light units. It's probably just part of the attack animation. But it is pretty nice. It attacks one unit, then it attacks another unit. I've seen it a few times, but I don't have a built Nightfall to make use of, right? Now, these ones are pretty fun looking, right? So we got Astro Blast here. He's got himself for silence, but I believe it's single target. Grants random beneficial effect for 3 turns. Additionally silences the target. And of course it can knock down, but again it looks like it's a 1 endurance hit knockdown, so they're a little trickier to use, honestly. However, it does, you know, if you can't knock them down, you can silence them, so not too bad, I guess. It's still, but like for 2 mana, I don't know. Honestly, like for 2 mana, it's kind of to me. Now, inflicts 73% of attack as damage to one enemy. Inflicts 73% of attack as damage to more than 1 random enemies 2 additional times. So, so it attacks 1 enemy, and then it randomly attacks 2 more times. Okay, which means it will or should apply that 2 endurance down for each of those random attacks, as well as the first attack. So the first enemy that you attack is going to get hit by the 2 endurance, and then each of the following random attacks is also going to be a 2 endurance hit. That's probably why it's only like 3 attacks total. Grants diminished effect times 2 and the evasion rate down with a 60% chance each whenever you attack accurately. Fair enough. You know, it's not a bad attack. Like, it should be pretty nice. If a tank picks up Provoke, then you're going to do like a 6 endurance hit. If you use it in Chaos, 6 endurance hit. That's pretty nice. And then of course we've got this third skill here, Asteroid Belt, which is the big hitter. Once again, it says random enemies 4 additional times. So it's damage to 1 enemy, and then inflicts to more than 1 random enemies 4 additional times. So it should be a 5 endurance hit because it does 1 endurance per attack. So as long as it says random enemies, then the endurance down is going to be like 1, like, you know, it's going to count for each random enemy attack basically. So it should be 5 endurance. So Astro Blast has a pretty powerful hit between these 2 skills. However, it is like 5 mana total to use them. 1 is a 3-turn cooldown, 1 is a 2-turn cooldown. And then the first skill can knock down, but it, you know, 1 endurance hit knockdown. We've got the accelerate effect. So this was increases attack. You know, increase the attack by 25% if the attack target has 3+ debuffs, which it can be a little tricky in today's meta with the way that the like everyone's either got immunity or say the tanks have high effect resistance. It can be a pain in the butt trying to get past the Kingpin that just permanently has Provoke up and like has so much effect resistance that like nothing gets through, right? But if you knock down an enemy, which means you need to use his first skill, right? Because it sounds like if he knocks down an enemy, maybe it won't matter because it's a passive. It probably won't matter which unit knocks them down. But again, this is Commodores descriptions, can't be 100% sure. The accelerate effect. Cooldown time becomes 0 when you use skills with the accelerate effect granted. So like, you know, it's kind of an inbuilt whirlwind rune. So you can kind of just like spam these abilities, okay? As long as accelerate's active. I'm not sure. I don't think it removes itself. However, once you run out of mana, then your turn's going to end anyway, right? However, like say that in combination with Light Hex, which, you know, reduces mana cost. On Light Hex, you cannot combine the Light Hex and Pit Boss mana reduction skills, unfortunately. We'll get to that. Evasion rate down for the leader skill. Okay, HP regen. Grants HP regen effect on yourself for 2 turns if the damage that can cause the enemy to be defeated is inflicted. So if you kill a unit, it should just say if you kill a unit. Additionally, grants the HP regen effect on yourself for 2 turns if you kill an enemy unit. Something like that, right? Let's move on to Aurora. Okay. Now, this does... Like, Aurora sounds like a kind of a fun unit to use, honestly, to me. It's got the crit damage up. Like, so this is the first skill, right? And it's basically just a buff effect. Right? 3-turn cooldown. Endurance 0. Mana 0. Crit damage up. Accuracy up. Effect resistance up. Right? And also cleanses yourself. Doesn't cleanse allies though. So Drobot has a cleanse or allies skill. However, Aurora is kind of selfish, I guess. The second skill is a 2 mana, 2-turn cooldown. It does hit for 3 endurance though. Like, I'm not sure how I feel about this skill in general, right? 157% of attack is okay. It's got defense down effect. But, like, that's not going to be taken into... Like, it's going to put defense down after the attack. You know what I mean? And then the removes or buff effects of the target if the target has 2+ buff effects. That's also not, like... It's not going to remove buffs and then attack. It's going to, like, attack and then remove buffs. Same thing with defense down. It's going to attack and then put defense down on. So it's got... I feel like it's kind of an average kind of skill there. And then 36% of damage of attack as damage to one enemy 4 times. Pretty strong kind of skill. And uses instant elimination again on the enemy with the highest HP currently if the target gets defeated. So that would mean that they go and attack someone else straight away, I believe. Let's see. Yeah. So whoever's got the highest HP, if you kill a unit, I don't like how they word these things. And use the instant elimination again on the enemy with the highest HP currently if the target gets defeated. Just so, like, if you beat an enemy, uses the skill on another, like, whatever, you know. It is what it is. Increases defense penetration rate by 20% if your HP is 60% or above. So you need to make sure you keep Aurora topped up on the HP scale there. Keep them off to the side away from your tank just in case of those adjacent skill use. Pesky little things that happen, alright? But 20% defense penetration is pretty nice. Also, Aurora has 10% defense penetration here. So, pretty sweet. You can even see like 200% crit damage. This is Aurora plus 10 though, to be fair. And then of course, the leader skill is kind of interesting. Grants the bless effect on yourself for 1 turn. Crit rate up, 0% effect for 0 turns if you fall into the break status. Okay? So if you, well, I guess even if you get knocked down, basically if you hit 0 endurance, you'll get a bless effect which should protect you for that particular turn. Unfortunately, the leader effect is only the accuracy. Okay, so additionally increases your accuracy by 30% in battle and 20% for the other members. Pretty nice, actually, pretty nice leader skill in general. The gear, I haven't been talking too much about the gear, but the gear for Aurora is actually pretty nice too. So it's got 2 weapons and a ring. So you can do quite a lot with that. Now, on to Light Hex. Light Hex is the new Butte edition. I did wind up pulling one, however, of course, mine is +0. And I can't really, like, make use of her. Same thing with my Pit Boss. I can't, you know, I can combo them, but I can't really make proper use of their skills. But anyways, the Light Hex Pit Boss combo, there's somebody that put a video up on YouTube. I think they did like 2.4 million in chaos for like 1 attempt. It's pretty wild. They used okay, so let's go over the skills first and then I'll explain how it works. So the first skill is kind of just whatever, alright? 55% of attack is damage 3 times to one enemy. Inflicts 20% of attack is damage to one random enemy 2 more times if you possess 2+ buff effects. So the way you kind of want to use Light Hex is obviously you need a buffer because it's important for most of her skills. She can steal buffs, but it's not as reliable as just bringing, say, like a Zulu or you know, whoever else. You can also like throw on, say, immunity for her enchants. Okay. Inflicts, like you'll get that early on extra buff. It might be a little bit of a waste, but we'll get to that. Inflicts 60% of attackers' damage to one enemy. Additionally, steals and copies 2 random beneficial effects of the target to all allies, right? With a 90% chance if the target possesses beneficial effects. So you steal, let's say one of their units has buffs, right? You steal those buffs from that one unit, and then all those buffs go on all of your units, basically. That's how it's supposed to work, according to the description at least. I haven't, once again, my light hex isn't built enough for me to test these things properly. However, I was able to test the third skill with the skill mana down. Skill mana down does not stack with Pit Boss and light hex. Very sad, but true. Alright. Now, after charging for 2 turns, decreases the cooldown time of all skills of all allies by 2 turns and decreases the amount of mana required to use skills by 1. Now, like this skill here, 2 turn charge time, right? However, I believe, yeah, so the leader skill / passive, Light Hex's charging skills will be changed temporarily to be instantly activated if you have 3+ buff effects when the turn begins, alright? So not applied if charging is already in progress. Additionally, increases your effect resistance by 25% in battle. And then for the allies, it gives effect resistance. Now, I don't believe you need the... I believe this is just like always active. You don't need to be using her leader skill to get the instant charge effect. But basically, you can pair Light Hex with any buffer, right? That's going to put 3 buff, at least 3 buff effects on her, okay? And then once you've got those buff effects, this is going to instantly activate. And now it's got to, so you only have to worry about the 2 turn cooldown. So as long as you maintain your buffs, every 2 turns, you can put this, decreases the cooldown time of all skills of all allies by 2 turns. Sorry, it doesn't say how long. I think it's just for the one skill, the 1 turn. The skill mana down, yeah. So every 2 turns, you can decrease the cooldown or time of all skills of all allies by 2 turns. Which means basically you use the skill and it should be up again immediately. I think. I can't remember exactly if it does her own skill as well. But everybody else's skill every 2 turns is going to have this, you know, skills reduced by... Their skill cooldown time reduced by 2 turns. It's like having an instant... like it's like a whirlwind enhancement that you can instantly activate whenever you please, right? And it's... when you combine this with Pit Boss and they're just like charging and buffing each other constantly, and Zulu, and then say like you have Ambush, Starcast, Stormblade, like you have any number of these like huge hitter DPS units, like Tide Pool, etc., combining them, it's just absolutely disgusting. whether it's like PvP or Chaos, it's just this really powerful combination. Alright. Now I've also got Nightlight. Just like it, look guys, if there's one unit you want to go for, it's gonna be Light Hex at the end of the day, alright? Now inflicts, we got Nightlight here. 102% of attackers damage to one enemy, attack down, evasion down, 2 mana, 2 turn cooldown, 2 endurance, average kind of skill, right? 119% of attack is damage to one enemy, recovers the HP of the ally with the lowest HP ratio by 46% of your max HP, and it spreads the debuff effects of the enemy. Again, 2 mana, 2 cooldown, 2 endurance, spreads debuffs. You know, get enough debuffs, spread them, but it's, I don't know, you know, it is a heal, you know. Recovers the HP of the ally with the lowest HP ratio by 46% of your max HP. So, you know, you stack a bunch of HP on the guy. But, I don't know. Times 2 of the enemy target. You know, like, it's, like, it's only a 50% chance to... It could, like, I feel like Light Hex is kind of just here for the debuff immunity, honestly. Shield effect equivalent to 20% of the target's max HP for 3 turns on all allies. That there... just like that's a nice shield effect. 20% of well, it's not of Nightlight's HP. It's of the unit that is going to receive the shield. So 20% of their HP is now going to be a shield for that unit, right? So it's not all powerful. You can't just stack HP on Nightlight and then everyone's got like a super OP shield. However, you get 3 turns of debuff immunity, 3 turns shield, and if it boosts, it's probably like 4 turns. You know, it does have a 3-turn cooldown, so you can pretty much just upkeep immunity the whole time unless you get stripped. So Nightlight's like a great immunity unit and also has a heal. Okay, really nice. HP regen effect on all allies for 3 turns, removes all debuff effects of all allies, excluding yourself if you're granted with the immunity against debuff effects. Really nice passive, honestly. I believe that it also, like, the way that it's worded here, the regen effect is, so like if you use Shining Light, it should also put regen effect on everyone, right? However, I believe it should remove all debuff effects as well. Okay? Except for Nightlight, of course. Because it says excluding yourself. Should be the way that it works. Should be. So like, Nightlight cleanses, puts up debuff immunity, puts the shield on, and then I suppose you could heal with somebody else if you want to. However, everyone is going for like the hyper DPS build lately, so you know, it just kind of depends what you want to do. Grants the damage down 20% effect on yourself for 1 turn if your HP is below 60% whenever you're attacked by the enemy. It seems kind of selfish again. Effect accuracy and effect accuracy for leader skill. Has a nice gear set though. Nightlight, just like a really nice immunity monster, but not an amazing healer. I have fought a couple. I think there's like one person that had like a built up Nightlight on Global, and it's kind of like they weren't too difficult to deal with. Okay, but I suppose if they're being used by another person, then it won't matter too much. Now, of course, we've got Light Flash Ring here. Does heal with the first skill. It's okay. It's only single target. Well, kind of, sorry. Kind of single target. It covers the HP of the ally with the lowest HP ratio. Oh, I might be thinking of the other unit. But yeah. Shield effect on all allies is equal to 20% of the target's max HP. Grants remove all debuff effects on yourself. So it seems like they only cleanses their own debuffs. Grants debuff effect immunity effect on yourself for 2 turns if your endurance is below 6 when the turn begins. So Light Flash Ring, quite selfish honestly, and doesn't really put out any DPS either. Kind of just a selfish unit that doesn't help out the team much. Max HP leader. So not too, yeah. Light Flash Ring, probably a skip on building honestly, for the most part. You wouldn't want to use it anyway. Like, yeah, like it doesn't shield your allies. I mean, sorry, it does shield your allies. What I meant was, it doesn't cleanse your allies, and it doesn't give you immunity for your allies. The shield's not that big a deal because it just gets stripped off straight away. Light Flash Rings have never been an issue. Same with Spotlights, actually. Spotlight looks more appealing than they are, I believe. Like, this is a 3 mana skill. 4-turn cooldown, 3 mana skill. Like, 4-turn cooldown when it's fully buffed, so I feel like the light heroics just aren't that big of a deal. The random weakening effects just aren't a big deal, especially for 3 mana. And with a 4-turn cooldown, you just locked out one skill for 4 turns. You can't do anything. And the other skill is 3 turns, so it's even longer. I mean, so not even longer. It's like, it's almost as long. Like, 3-turn cooldown's a long time. Like, Mr. Cat's got a 3-turn cooldown on the heal, right? But, like, you can kill the entire team within that 3 turns. Inflicts 127% of attackers' damage to one enemy. Recovers the HP of 2 allies with the lowest HP ratio. So I would actually say that Spotlight is a better healer than Light Flash Ring, because it heals 2 allies, okay? And it's, let's see, based on Spotlight's max HP. So you can stack HP on Spotlight, and then you should heal more on those 2 allies, okay? Let's see. So random weakening effects. Can't remember exactly. I know there's like attack down and stuff. I think there's like crit rate down, things like that. They're okay, but it's like they're not a big deal. Like I always just ignore it. If I get the debuff, I don't care. Like they just use 3 mana, 2 mana, 3-turn cooldown. 2 mana is okay. Like it's a decent skill, but like 3-turn cooldown for a heal, you may as well just bring in Mysticat, you know? Mysticat's going to be so much better. If you get Mysticat, of course, right? For a heroic unit, I feel like if you're going to build a heroic light unit, Spotlight would be the one to go for. Because Light Flash Ring is just kind of a letdown, honestly. If there's an ally in the break or knockdown status, excluding yourself, when the turn begins, grant the shield effect on all allies. Really annoying passive, or at least it was early on. 25% is really nice. And defense for the leader skill, also pretty nice. Additionally, if your HP is above 65% when the turn ends, replaces continuous damage effect times 2 on yourself with the HP regen effect. So if someone's put continuous damage or diminish on Spotlight, then it's going to be pretty nice for Spotlight, but not for anyone else. Again, it is a heroic unit, and you know, it is what it is. Anyways, this video has gone on pretty long. Those are the LD units. You know, as far as summoning goes, worth getting. Like, you want to try and get those 5-star, like you want to try and get those legendaries. They pair really well with the other legendaries, if you've got any. But that combination of like Light Hex, Pit Boss, like if you ever get that magical combination, it's super broken / OP, just / really good. However, like you may also need like a Zulu for it, because Zulu's just really easy for upkeeping buffs. It just depends on how much money you want to put in. But yeah. Anyways, this was a much longer video than I planned. Hope you guys enjoy the new event that's out, by the way. So we got this Cherry Blossom event mission. Pretty decent. Okay. You have some legendary skill stones here that's just dropped. And yeah, I will see you guys on the next one. Make sure you get this sorted, guys. Alright. And let's see. We'll probably discuss some more team theory next time. However, I hope you guys picked up a little bit from the Light Hex Pit Boss stuff and just some of the other stuff for the the way to use LD units. We'll talk shorter video about like more specific team comps. Probably like 10-15 minutes. We'll go over how they can be used and stuff, much like the other team theory videos. And yeah, I will catch you guys later. Again, I have been a little flat out, so I do apologize for that. And peace.